What is the relationship you have with your predecessor, who has been in acting capacity? And were you ever arrested by the same acting chairman? And what is the reason for the arrest?
I have a very cordial relationship with him. I was never arrested. I was never detained by him. In fact, during the week of my nomination and to date, he even called me on phone to congratulate me for this appointment. I maintain relationship with all my predecessors, God willing, if confirmed by this Senate. I'm in contact with all of them for consultations and for advice when the need arises. So I do have a very cordial working relationship with him.
There's this notion, wrong or right, that EFCC is used as a tool to witch hunt some people for political and other reasons. Many people have been victims of this type of acts of EFCC whereby people are already charged and tried in the media, their names spoiled, eventually they have been found not wanted. And the allegations that politicians and other interest groups use EFCC not necessarily to fight corruption, but to fight some political and other economic causes. Given your age, as a young man, 40 years, and given the fact that you have never held any top management or political office, how do you intend to withstand pressure, which will certainly come, to use you to witch hunt some perceived enemies?
The issue of political witch hunt have been there trending against the EFCC since its inception. When the EFCC came on board, certain political party was in government, but I'm aware that members of that political party were also investigated and charged to court. Currently, another political party is in power, and members of that political party were also investigated and charged to court. When it comes to the issue of trial in court, the way we operate in the EFCC, distinguished senators, is that at the end of every investigation, files are being sent to legal department to vet and see whether or not the investigation warrants any prosecution in court, whether the report has adduced in it points to prove an offense beyond reasonable doubt, before the lawyers prefer charges and of course file in court for them to go and defend what they said that they have found. And as I said, we are not perfect, but during answering some of my previous questions, I do state here, and I stand to be challenged by everybody, that we have 90% success rate on matters that we have charged to court. On the issue of media trial, we have a responsibility as a commission to enlighten the general public regarding our activities as a commission, as an agency of government saddled with the responsibility of investigating economic and financial crimes. Matters that are in court, Mr. President, distinguished senators, are already in the public domain. The press have the right, like indeed any other Nigerian or even non-Nigerians, to demand for those records and print them, either on print or electronic media. So it is not within our purview or control to tend to determine which matter that is in court can be published and which matter cannot be published.
Mr. Bawa, what will you do differently with regards to media? Because right from the inception, of that organization, some chairmen are only interested in media trial and showmanship, so much that some were hunting perceived critics in government. So as the representative of my generation, which I believe you will do us proud, you will not disappoint this country, that much I believe. What can you do differently?
I have an experience I want to share with Mr. President and distinguished senator. Going through my CV, there's an area where I say that I participated in the investigation and prosecution of cases involving petroleum subsidy. And we're able to manage the stories very well, despite media prompting and concerns. And I do believe, as well as the management then, that assuming Nigerians and Nigeria knew what we were able to discover, we could have had a different or additional protest that rocked this nation again after the January protest of 2012. So I have a bit of experience on how we are going to manage these issues. But I strongly believe that this issue of media trial is something that is beyond our control when matters are already charged into court.